You're right on the heartbeat. I mean, of the and the pulse of the people in the nation.
It gives people information what they don't really think about.
And I mean, it's the bomb.
I am just amazed. Keep up the good work. I'm one of those persons out here who believe in everything that you're doing.
If you have time, then you have more.
Very knowledgeable. That's what I really need to.
He has a more calm, more balance, and more tranquil attitude with the people that call in and show. So I would say he's a better speaker
Hello.
or show host.
I normally do that at the front of the show.
Woke up this morning, coffee on my nightstand. Thanking the most high, it's a grand rising. Praising him for another day, not taking anything for granted. Need something to really get me going. I think I know what's missing. I know what will do the trick. Jump! In my car, turn the dial to 107.5 FM. Oh, I like that. The voice for the people, Steve McKinney, no duplicate. Hard copy, bringing the truth. Sorry if you get your feelings hurt. I guess the truth ain't for you. Oh, it can be a hard pill to swallow. Tune into 107.5. Come on, the Patriot will open your eyes, revealing the secrets hidden from you and I. Fighting for fairness and equality from sunset to sunrise. It's a hard pill to swallow, but this truth benefits me and you. Digital summary, cause I'm listening to Agape. 7.5 with Steve McKinney, the man, the legend, fighting for a better Bahamaland time. To erase the pettiness and fight for the sovereignty of this nation. I think we all needed this, the powerful message, the reeling of so much important information. Man, believe me, we all benefited from the info. That's why Bahamians tune into the show. It's a hard pill to swallow, but this truth benefits me and you. Let me digital summary, cause I'm listening to Hard Copy. Come again. It's a hard pill to swallow, but this truth benefits me and you. Let me digital summary, cause I'm listening to Hard Copy. Time to start the show. Was tuning in from 4:48. Don't wanna miss nothing. I don't move from 107.9 FM. Get ready for Hard Copy with Steve McKinney. We're listening attentively. We hear ya. You got the positive vibe. Hey, let's start the show.
You sent me back a copy of that today for the show, right? You sent a copy of that show. You sent back a copy of the show. The show here, what we recording now. Shh. Well, welcome on board today, because we've got many things that we want to talk about today right here on the show. And of course, we want you to be a part of our show today because it's Wednesday, as you know, the 15th day in the month of October 2025. And today was a historic day of sorts because many things happened today. And a lot of people were expecting that Our Lady was going to go downtown and carry on bad. That's what they thought. She's going to carry on bad. Belinda Wilson I'm talking about. So she went downtown along with all of her members, and they were very, very strong. They came downtown singing. They want their money. They want things to be changed in this country. They were talking all sorts of things today, friends. And as a result of that, we now see exactly what is actually happening here because obviously they were singing chants that made those in the governance kind of tremble. We can tell that from just looking on in of things that happened in the House of Assembly. And the final analysis, even though they were there for a long time today, and they did demonstrate, they did show their strong signs. They all were well behaved. It wasn't a matter of them just not doing the things right. They did everything right. And that's because people were watching them. They knew that the people were watching them, the unions I'm talking about. Kingsley Ferguson was there, along with Belinda Wilson, and a whole throng of people went downtown because they want their money. That's what it is. They want their money. And the fact of the matter is that because they want their money, they were showing their motion that they wanted their money. However, the nation's prime minister, Brave Davis, he kind of like stayed in the background. He went down there first and foremost before they got down there. They left at 9 o'clock and from the old city market building on Market Street. And when they got there, Mr. Davis was already in the house. He was already in the House of Assembly. And so they didn't get the chance to see him going into the House of Assembly or walking across the corridor to get into the House of Assembly, but he was already in the House of Assembly. That was the first thing. So Davis figured that he beat them in the House of Assembly, and so he didn't have to deal with them on the outside. But however, they had the outside lined with all kinds of barricades. I mean, I never saw barricades like that before. Was what they did. They used barricades on the, you'll call that the northern side, facing Bay Street. And then on the southern side, they also had another group of, another selection of barricades. So on the southern side of Bay Street and on the northern side, facing the sea, they had all these barricades, a long line of barricades. So their whole thing was that they meant that nobody's going to get and break those barricades. However, I looked in on the situation I saw where people were breaking the barricades. The unionists were getting through the barricades, and the police were right there. The unionists got through the barricades. In fact, they all got into the barricades, and many of them didn't get over the barricades. So what happened was that Belinda Wilson climbed the barricades. She jumped over. So did Kingsley Ferguson. So did Lincoln Bain. They all went over the barricades. And so they had their say. And as they had their say, Michael Pintard came out of the House of Assembly, and Michael Pintard, the leader of the opposition, was there. And he gave the public some comments. So some of the members of the press also went over the barricades. So they wanted to get a good close-up view as to what was happening within that confines of the House of Assembly on the floor of the House of Assembly, on the forefront of the House of Assembly. So they were in that square, were there in that square themselves. And of course, the production went on as according to plan. However, Brave Davis still did not rise from his seat and go down in Parliament Square, even though Belinda Wilson jumped over the barricades and said to him, "Tell Mr. Davis to come down here because we're not going to come there to get him down here today like we did last Wednesday." She says, "Tell him to come down here," because she told the police officer. And the police officer politely left and went upstairs to Mr. Davis. However, Mr. Davis still did not come downstairs. He didn't. So they didn't get a chance to see him at that particular point in time. I understand, however, they did meet with him later on, but he never came downstairs to face the crowd. It was an angry crowd. The crowd was angry because they could not understand how come they were not being paid, the teachers, and of course, those who were part of the civil service and the public service, they were not considered in the configuring as to what was going to happen for them because all the top managers in the various ministries, they were paid. They got all of them got their monies. They got their monies big time. And so it seemed as if they were never going to reach the little fella on the ground, the janitress, the maids, that kind of thing, the custodians, they were not going to reach them. And so that's one of the reasons why the people were so very, very unhappy. And so they marched downtown and they demanded to see Mr. Davis. Mr. Davis had already said yesterday that he wasn't going to see them because really he believed that Belinda Wilson carried on bad at his office on Monday. And that's a matter of choice. That's a matter of what people believe because she didn't carry on bad. And many of the press members knew that she didn't carry on bad. But the point is, that's what he was using as an excuse. His excuse was that she carried on so bad that the whole thing was that, really, they were not going to meet with her. And they did not want to meet with them in the parliament today. And so that's how the day actually turned out. Now, they didn't get to see him today the way that they wanted to, but they sent some serious, strong messages to him in the parliament today. And that message resonated loud and clear because really the truth is it looked bad. The people saw what actually happened. Shop owners and shopkeepers saw what actually happened, and they realized that these people are actually angry and upset with Mr. Barry Davis. They are. And so that came across very, very clear today. And so we're going to play some sound bites from that particular episode to downtown today. And of course, get your comments and views on many things, as you can do that today. And even Belinda Wilson can call. I did call her today to be on the show, but she obviously was very, very busy this afternoon, and she didn't get to call me back. And so we're not going to have her here, but I do have her on sound bites that we can play for you today. And also we have in the studio today with us Lincoln Bain. He's here with us today, and I want to welcome him today to the show because he did a yeoman's job down there today in the square. He led most of the people down in the square today, and they were very, very happy to see him. I never seen the amount of outpouring for souls who just was happy to see somebody who offered them hope. And he was there to offer them hope, and that is what actually happened. So he had a throng of people out there today in the Parliament Square, and they were all happy to see him and happy that he was a part of what was happening here. As this was history being made. Believe it or not, this was history being made. Now, we didn't see a number of those who are in the PLP because they were perhaps it's upstairs in the House of Assembly, I don't know. But the people who were there, they got the attention, I tell you, and I kid you not, they got the attention of the government of the Bahamas. What makes me think that at this particular point in time, you have to understand something that's happened right here. And that is this. That the government seems to be in big trouble. They are. See, this whole matter today with the people coming down there to protest and all that, that reflects badly on the government of the Bahamas. It does. It's not anytime soon that they can get rid of this monkey on their back because it came across very, very strong. That's a fact. Now, you'll have to wait to see how it pays off for them or how it affects them. But they know, and we all know, that this is something, it's something that's untoward. It's something that has to be dealt with. They are still going to be a situation where they're going to be paid, I suppose, just before Christmas, just before December. And that has not really changed much, but I believe that may change in short order. And I'll tell you why as we explain this whole thing today. But first, I just want to introduce to you today Lincoln Bain. And we are now we're in your live, right? We're on Facebook Live.
Yes.
Yeah, we are. So you can see us if you want to go to Facebook Live.
Or YouTube.
Or YouTube. Yeah, because we're on there now because we're using Lincoln's machine here today because my thing of it's not working. So cable came here yesterday, not cable. The cable from Alive came here yesterday, and they restored the cable, a brand new thing we have now, but it did not work today. I don't know what happened. So they're going to be back here tomorrow. They'll fix that then. So, however, we are now, thankfully, to Mr. Lincoln being we are on his television screen, on his live, on his WhatsApp, and on his Facebook and everything else. So the world is seeing us big and clear today, as usual. They can also call us today on the show. 376-9234 or 821-9234. That's 376-9234 or 821-9234. Those are the numbers of calls by today here on the show. Now, I've had a very exhausting day because we had to do this and do that and run around all kinds of stuff. But nonetheless, we're here and we are thankful to God for it because we want to talk this thing through and ask Mr. Lincoln Dean right now his viewpoints about what actually has happened here in the last week or so with this union situation. The fact that Brave Davis seems to be on the run, has been backpedaling on this whole matter, even though they're now saying that they are on top of things. I want to know what your whole thoughts are on this whole matter, Mr. Bain, and how do you think that this is going to turn out, good or bad, in between what's going to happen, because the unionists, they want their monies, and that was very, very clear. They were singing from the time they left City Market on Marquis Street all the way into Bay Street. They were very, very loud, and I believe that Mr. Davis and company would have got that message loud and clear. Again, second week, it's another Wednesday, and the thing actually happened again. What are your thoughts, Mr. Bain, on this whole matter?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for having me on your show again. I appreciate it.
Mhm.
We always appreciate the work that you do for the Bahamian people. We appreciate that. I think that the Bahamian people made history again today. The Bahamian people stood up. They did stand up. The politician again ignored them, and I think they should return the favor when it's time to vote.
Yes.
They should act like the government doesn't exist and vote otherwise. Before I get to them, I want to address a matter that it seems everyone is talking about. They're not even talking about
Yeah, I know what you're gonna
about
say.
this union
You're
situation.
going to say about this whole
Yeah.
thing with Michael Pintard.
Yeah, everyone is talking about the
I know
situation
that.
with
That's
Michael
something I
Pintard.
had, but go ahead, I'm listening.
Yeah, so I just wanted to get straight to it. I think everyone wants to understand exactly what happened.
Exactly.
It amazes me that there are people in the country that will take a video clip, and then come to
Yes.
conclusion from a little short clip and not know really what went down and not know the real facts behind what was going on. And that disturbs me that Bahamians are so easily deceived.
Yes.
Anytime they can get a clip of us looking rowdy, et cetera, they're going to just play that. They won't, whenever we put out information or facts or whatever, the news won't cover that. But whenever it's something to make us look rowdy, they're going to make sure to put that out there.
Yeah.
So the news had put out a little clip with an exchange between me and Pintard. Now, they were there the whole time, but they only chose to put one little clip of it, right? Which is exchange between me and him, right? But you couldn't hear what he was saying.
Yeah.
You could only hear me because my voice is more deep and forceful.
Right.
So you could hear me, but you couldn't hear the things that he was saying.
Right.
And there are people who were saying that, I was unprofessional and you shouldn't do things like that, et cetera, but they couldn't hear what he was saying.
There was an
Right?
exchange. There was
an exchange. You could see him talking,
Yeah.
but everyone ignored, the fact that he was talking to me. But that wasn't the issue. That wasn't where this started. This started where, and there are also people saying, I keep approaching Pintard. Why do I keep bothering with Pintard? I had nothing to do with him. I was standing out there with the people. I marched with them from City Market. Pintard was not there. I was there in the square with them. I jumped over the barricade with them. Pintard was not there. Pintard, almost 1 o'clock, after we've been there all day, Pintard came out of the House of Assembly. At that time, I was talking to a young lady, and she was expressing herself of what she's going through. She's tired of both sides, the PLP and FNM, and the promises and the country failing. And Pintard came over to where we were. All right. I was surprised that he came there because I was there. And so it surprised me that he would actually come there. But he came to where I was, and she continued to express herself. And the media actually came, and they started recording as she was talking and expressing herself. And she talked about her son who has autism, and I also relate to that because I have a son with autism and cerebral palsy. And so I listened to her and I heard her vent, and she wanted to know from Pintard, what are they planning to do? Real substance. What are you planning to do about this situation? And his response after all of that was, give me your number. And
Is that
so,
right?
yeah,
Mhm.
so the lady next to her, and we have all of this on video, the lady next to her also has a child with autism. And so
Okay.
she was like, no, why the number? I want to hear this answer too. So she wanted to hear, so she was trying to tell Pintard to just state what their vision is.
Mhm.
And Pintard then went to say something like, shut up, I'm not talking to you. All right. He said, shut up on his bread and said, I'm not talking to you. And everyone there was in shock. And we were all saying, like, you can't talk to a Bahamian woman like that. What are you doing?
Mhm.
You don't talk to Bahamians like that. Like, you already think that you are all powerful and you can talk to us that way.
Mhm.
I'm not talking to you.
Oh,
And
that's what he said to the lady. I'm not
yes,
talking to you.
shut up. I'm not talking to you.
Is that right?
Yes. And so we were all offended.
Mhm.
That really bothered me. I don't like to see people being abused. This has always been me.
Mhm.
And I decided to stand up for them. And that's what I do.
Mhm.
I stand up for people, not for myself.
Mhm.
So people think that I was responding to them because of an exchange between me and him. No, it wasn't. All right. He went after the lady who was there, and he, basically dismissed her, basically shut her up because she wanted an answer now. Don't go and do some prepared speech and then call a lady
Mhm.
and so that offended him.
I see.
We then, had the exchange, and Michael Pintard said some, insulting things to me.
Mhm.
He called me a bunch of names, which I don't have a problem with that. People on social media every day, people out there cursing me and saying all manner of names. I don't even answer them, to be honest with you. And he basically, started saying some weird things.
Mhm.
He said, I can't keep a wife. Yeah, I mean, he got really
He got
personal.
personal,
Yeah, he got personal, but persons didn't hear that. He said, I can't keep a wife. He said, I can't pay my rent. I don't rent from anybody. I don't work for anybody. I don't rent from anybody. He said, other personal things like that. And he got really personal. So I basically said to him, I responded in kind. I said, listen, you are a crackhead and a drug user. All right. And that was my response to him. I told him that he's weak. I told him that he's weak, and that's why he's letting the government run all over the country. And that was my response to him. All right.
Understood.
I had also, before that, I had said to him that if he really wants Brave them gone, if he really wants an election like he's saying, all he has to do is allow him and all of the opposition members to resign. And if they resign, then it would force a general
I
election.
see. Okay. Yeah.
And so I said that to him, and that also seemed to offend him. I guess he doesn't want to do it because he doesn't really want to resign. I said, just all of you resign, problem solved. They have to call a general election now, and we can go to a general election. But he started insulting me, all right, saying all manner of things about me, and people didn't hear that, all right, although we have audio and video with him doing that. But some people just went into attacking me. I don't want to say that, I apologize to the Bahamian people. I mean, other politicians don't do that, but I apologize to anyone that I would have offended, all right, for speaking that way. I know that they only heard me. It's like when a guy is in a class with a bully, and the bully keeps hitting him with the paper, and he turns around and shouts,
Like
"Leave me alone!"
Yeah.
Right? Or throw something back at him. The teacher only sees the response, and that sometimes happens. And I understand that that's going to happen sometimes, and that's what did. But again, I want to apologize to anyone who misunderstood the situation and didn't like the way I dealt with it. I want to apologize. Sometimes we do that kind of thing, but it wasn't because of what he was saying to me. It's because of how he responded to a Bahamian woman by talking down to her. Shut up. I'm not talking to you. Who do you think you are, Pintard? This woman is paying you. You are working for us. And that's what bothered me. People had a problem with what I said, that I keep saying that he was a drug user, et cetera, et cetera. That's relevant. if you are a paid public servant, we're paying you.
Mhm.
We need to know if that is the truth, and we keep asking him if that's the truth, and we want him to address it, but he keeps not addressing it. All right, I heard him say,
There's a question that's still out there.
yeah, I heard him say recently that he used to use marijuana, and so he is a drug user. All right, I heard him say that recently at a church that we were to very recently. All right, but I need to know your present situation, and I have a right to know that because I'm paying you. All right. And so if people don't take that seriously, then so be it. But we need to know the situation. I think that's just fair. Before election, I made a statement. I was sitting in a car and I did a live. I don't know if you remember that live.
Mm.
And I said something about Brave Davis. I told people that I was concerned about the deals that was being made with criminals. I didn't say exactly what was happening, that deals were being made with these criminals and they're going to be empowered when the PLP gets in. And I said, I'm really concerned with that. Murder is going to increase. Drug dealers are going to be getting contracts, et cetera, et cetera. And people were like, how could Lincoln say that, man? Why are you going low? Don't go low. That's going low,
They don't want
man.
to hear reality.
We
They
need to
don't want
go
to hear those
high.
kinds of things.
We don't need to just focus on that, man. Focus on your vision. We don't want to hear about that. But because we don't want to hear the truth about what's going on, we always put politicians on a pedestal, and I don't want you to put any politician on a pedestal, not even me. Because we don't want to know the truth about what's going on in this country, we suffer for it later.
That's why we are. in
And
this
now
position.
we have a country where drug dealers are getting contracts to build buildings. Drug dealers are getting contracts to do housing contracts. People who are arrested for money laundering, etc., now have contracts from government. And all manner of things is going on. Deals were made,
Yes.
right? And foreign countries are paying attention to that, even though we are
They
not.
are. They are.
All right?
They are paying attention to
They are paying attention to that,
Mhm.
and we are taking that lightly.
Even
And
though
whenever-
even though we're not paying attention, that the foreign countries are paying attention to that.
And
a lot
Steve,
of people are paying attention.
And
to this.
whenever someone speaks the truth about what's going on,
Mhm.
they say, oh, that's going low. It's the reality. We have been run in a dysfunctional way in this country by people who are only into raping and robbing this country, who are making deals with criminals. Every time this government gets in, particularly, and the other government, they have the legitimate criminals who do things their way also. But someone has to stand up and speak the truth, Steve.
No question.
And if that's me, and if that's going to cause people
We
not
do
to
it all
like
the
me,
time.
not to appreciate
We
me,
do it all the time.
I am going to speak truth to power. And I'm going to put my head on the chopping block like John the Baptist, and you cut it off. But it's simple as that. Now, if you want the polit person who is always going to just say the political answer,
Yeah.
and
That's their own
and
thing.
then get in power, and then
And deal
commence
with the
to
problem
rape
later on.
and rob you,
Mhm.
then so be it.
Yeah.
But I am going to speak truth
You must.
to power.
You must. You must.
The
You
F&M
must be
is
honest.
corrupt.
You must be honest and you must speak the truth. You must be full of integrity and you must put yourself out there on a higher level because we are expecting you to speak the truth all the time, not sometimes.
So again, I will say this again. For those who are offended, I humbly apologize. I humbly apologize. But there was a deeper story there. You can only hear what I
understand
was
the
saying.
story is.
But I still apologize for offending you.
I appreciate that. Listen, I know that the one of the ladies who you talked about just stepped into the studio just now, and I'm happy to see her, and we're going to get to in a minute. But I do have a phone call here on the telephone. Let me just take this call. Good afternoon, caller. How are you?
Good afternoon, Steve McKinney, and good afternoon, Mr. Bain. This is Uncut 242. We're live. We was live on the scene. My name is Deanne Powell, and I just want everybody to know who's listening that don't be deceived by what they're saying. We have to understand that the news stations already been sold out. They don't want Mr. Bain to come in to try to disrupt anything. Everything that Mr. Bain is saying is the truth. Pintard attacked Mr. Bain first. And if you all really listen to the video or look at the video, Mr. Bain barely gonna get out conversations. He could barely get out a statement. Pintard was just running on. And as a human being, Mr. Bain have every right to defend himself. He's not perfect. Nobody is perfect. So you're trying to tell me that Pintard can say whatever he want to say because he's the opposition and because Lincoln Bain trying to get in. He should not say anything.
Yeah, I understand. But I'm happy that Mr. Bain has apologized to the Bahamian people and to all those who he may have offended. And I think that he's taken the class act. That is what you do. And that is what I'm very, very pleased with him for, because that takes a classy fella to apologize and to understand that, understanding what the deeper story was. The lady who was insulted, the two ladies who were insulted, you got to understand that these are human beings, these are people, mothers of our children, who in fact had the children who suffer from the autism, and all of those things are very, very important. And so maybe this is something that people don't have to search themselves and see the big story in that. There's a big story in that. It's not about a row with two politicians row. No, it was the biggest story, and Lincoln took the right approach. The biggest story, because you cannot have Bahamian women, and I do agree with that. I make no apologies for it. You cannot have Bahamian women being uh, abused in such a way. That is untimely. That is not the right thing to do. Okay.
Yes, but I also want to. I think the biggest story is the lady who's saying that her child is autism. She have autism, but there's the government have nothing in place
Yes.
for children that who have this autism stuff. The hospital have no air conditioning. She cannot do their surgery. These stuff supposed to be to the forefront. What Pintard and Mr. Bain running on with is irrelevant. That's not important. We always taking our eyes off important stuff to try go run on rhetoric, foolishness, what don't make sense.
Understood. I appreciate your call, sir.
All right.
Thank you very kindly.
I just want to say this. Someone online made a statement saying that everyone has skeletons in their closet. We all know that. We don't care about the personal lives of any politician. But if there's a politician who is currently, if there's a politician who's currently using illicit drugs, he's committing crimes.
Yes.
If you, and this isn't someone who is aspiring to be a leader, and someone said the country is in trouble when your person's aspiring to be leader. He's not aspiring. He is in the House of Assembly. He is Her Majesty's, the leader of Her Majesty's loyal opposition. He is in position. And so we need to know, and I asked him before to do a drug test. I'm serious with this, I'm not saying this to attack him or to hurt him or to go low. I need to know if there's a politician breaking the law. And it's a simple yes or no answer. Simple. All right? If you are breaking the law, you're not a good example for our children. You are actually admitting to being a criminal. I don't know why Bahamians don't take these kinds of things seriously. But they should.
Indeed.
The lady is here who was there.
Yes. And we want to talk with her. If you could just pull that mic right there.
Oh.
Yeah. So she can talk. But on TV. I want to see her on TV now. Yeah. Okay. So here we are. And of course, this is the lady who's representing the area that's called Freetown. I had her on the show before, didn't I not?
You did.
Yeah. And she was here before. And of course, she made a big impression upon me the time when she was here. And she represents Freetown, will want to represent Freetown. Wayne Monroe is now the man in Freetown, right, for the PLP. And of course, there's another guy who's now running in Freetown. I forgot his name now, but I know him so well, but anyway, they're the big three who can be running in Freetown. However, your situation is one that's kind of grave and dim because of the fact that you have a child who's autistic. And yes, you wanted to find out some things that can happen that can assist your child, like many other children. And many, many children these days are autistic. That's a fact. That's happened. But there's no plan, it seems, like what's going to happen with this Perry Christie. In fact, got an autistic boy. He's big now. And I don't know if there was any real plan that happened with him because he was the prime minister. And I don't know. I remember his son just running around and that kind of stuff, and was a nice guy. And but he's now older. I know he's older now. From the time that Perry Christie was in charge of politics, was in charge of the country. What's happening in your neck of the wood, what's going to happen? Are you trying to get anything done with children with autism in the country? And what made you ask Pintard about those kinds of things today when you did ask him? I suppose it was just a good opportunity today to do it.
Absolutely, none but now. Good afternoon, Bahamians. Good afternoon, gents. My name is Olivia Ingram Griffin, candidate for Freetown constituency under the Coalition of Independence. I didn't intend to speak to them today, but I had to simply because Mr. Bean explained the situation. He wasn't in no way, shape, or form, and no necessary to be coming over there when the conversation was had. He inserted himself, he perched himself in front
He meaning
of
Pintard.
Mr. Pintard, yes, inserted himself in front of the young lady as if he's coming as a Hail Mary or some advice. This is simply what we're seeing. I feel as though it was just a PR stunt, trying to just get some brownie points. I could be wrong, but this is how I felt. So when he in turn, after hearing how long plight, he only to say, pull her aside and say, give me your phone number. What's that? There's a lot of us around that want to hear answers. You have one of the top medical physicians on your team. That's Dr. Sands.
Dr. Sands, yes.
You mean to tell me you don't have him in your Rolodex where you could at least call and get advice, something to let us know. I don't expect for you to know because that's not your forte. You're not a medical physician. However, you have this in your arm. You can use this. He wasn't giving us anything. My thing is we're tired of the secrecy. We want transparency. If you're going to do something, action is what's necessary. I felt as though he just wanted his 15 minutes after being in air condition all day. We're frustrated. We're out there. There a lot of persons are saying we're angry. No, we're angry. Not angry. We're frustrated. We need to pay our bills. These are things that we see every day that we go through, especially in my constituency. I can speak on it from dusk till dawn on how persons are going through the exact same things. But him shouting, shut up, I ain't talking to you. You know what he's telling me? My voice doesn't matter. You don't have a voice. You want to represent me as the leader in the next election, and you're going to tell me to shut up, my voice no matter? That means you have no intention to bring me to the table and my concerns to the table for my children.
Wow, that's a heavy thing.
Now, she has the same situation with her child who's on the spectrum. Those who know. Those who feel. I had to speak up because he wasn't giving us no answers. He wasn't giving us any type of light. This is it. This is it, and that is all. So simply put, I had to speak for those that could not speak for themselves. And a lot of persons around kept their mouths shut, knowing they were thinking the exact same thing. Sorry, excuse me. Very emotional. Tell me, what's the plan? Tell me how we can start to remedy these issues. Please and thank you. That's it. So when he said that, a real leader stepped up and said, no, you don't disrespect a Bahamian like that. A mother, a concerned person. Yeah. How could you do that and then tell her, please come vote for me in the next election? That's disrespectful. Simply put, he was out of order and he needs to come and give me just openly an apology. Yeah. I feel maybe that Michael, he most definitely needs to give me as well as the other mothers with the same issue an apology openly, just as blatant as he was, very vocal. And I don't see how the other media streams didn't get that portion as loudly as it's almost as if he came there with such. Oh,
well, sometimes they miss a lot of things, and so when they'll listen back to hard copy, they'll get the story here from hard copy.
Yes,
and we were not even downtown physically, but we saw things on that television
clips.
But I'm saying this, I'm thinking this: if Lincoln Bain can sit here on my radio station today and let the entire world hear him apologize, I say that Michael Pintard should also apologize. Yes. Because even if he didn't know what was happening, now that he know and he heard from you, he's seeing you again on TV right now. Yes. And here it is that you're the same woman who he just had this thing with. Now he need to know, oh my goodness, he ought to apologize and just be public with it. Just because Lincoln Mean apologized, it takes two to make things happen. Lincoln already apologized. That's on the record. I've gotten that on the record. I think that Michael Pintard should also apologize. And let's call it a day. Let's shake hands and call it a day and walk away from this thing. Nobody gets hurt in the whole matter. And they ought to be very, very careful with these kinds of things, especially when you're in the public domain. When you're in the public domain, you've got to be on your P's and Q's always as a leader. Leaders must be on their P's and Q's. I know what I'm saying because I was there with the Prime Minister, Hubert Alexander Ingram. I was there with the Prime Minister, Perry Gladstone Christie. I was in my forum as far as the IS is concerned. I know that they had to walk on their P's and Q's and be very particular about everything, their look, their image, everything. So you got to make sure that you're doing the right things. You got to make sure you're doing the right. And you don't ever speak to a Bahamian woman in that fashion at all. I don't care if you don't think that she's a pretty girl. You just don't speak that way. That's unbecoming, and that's what it is. And so I think Lincoln did the right thing. I think that Michael could do the right thing. And I'll accept Michael's call because there's nothing wrong with him apologizing. That's a big man. Big man apologizing. That's the way it is. And so I hope that he's apologizing before the show over today so that we can get that on the record. And that is not something that's going to be held against him. But that's up to him. All right?
Yeah.
But I appreciate you coming and
Thank
being
you.
a part of the show
Yes,
today
thank you.
because I thought it was very important.
That the story be told
yeah,
and
absolutely.
understood.
Absolutely.
Blessings.
And I wish you the
favor.
best over there
Thank you.
in Freetown.
Thank you.
You still can beat Wayne.
Oh, every last one of them. They don't understand. They don't understand. He have something coming.
You still can beat him.
Blessings.
I know he's been going down to Mount Moriah and all kind of other places looking for a home. I don't know if that's really the real truth of the matter, but I've seen pictures of him in Mount Moriah doing things. So I know that somebody must have gotten something on him in a way that he say, well, look, let me just check another area just in case. But I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see. I appreciate you being here.
I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Blessings.
Thank you so much. And of course,
All right.
yeah, it's 2 minutes past 6 o'clock in the afternoon. This is Hard Copy Live, and we have Lincoln being with us. I want to play some sound bites from the lady who's...
I just want to say this before you do that, because there are some people who might feel because she is, a COI candidate that has some relevance.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or that she would have a slant because of that. I would have defended any woman that Pintard did that to.
Yeah,
It doesn't
I
matter
understand.
that it was her. She's a woman with an autistic child.
Mhm.
I'm a man with an autistic child that I take care of. And the other woman that was talking is a woman with an autistic child.
Mhm.
And she decided that that was her opinion. You are a leader. I'm paying you. I want to hear your plans. You want to run. Let me hear it now. All right? And that was her decision.
Mhm.
But there were other persons there, and we took video from them when it happened to
Yes.
ask them how they felt about it. There were
Mhm.
men there who were very angry at what Pintard did and
Yeah,
said he was
yeah.
out of order. I can actually play that
Mhm.
because we have videos talking to them. I'm going to release them.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of people who were angry with that exchange.
Mhm.
Some people were questioning whether he said shut up or didn't say shut up. It doesn't matter. You don't dismiss a Bahamian who is asking you for your vision. That is not a leader. All right? Whatever he said, you don't dismiss Bahamians and you don't disrespect a woman like that.
Mhm.
Shut up, I'm not talking to you. Or I'm not talking to you. What are you saying? You think you're talking to a child? You are talking to your employer. All right?
That's the point that you're driving home.
That is the point.
Mhm.
All right? And I would have done that as I have been defending Bahamians. I would have done that for any Bahamian, even a man
Understood.
that he did that to.
Understood.
All right. And he said some very low and disgusting things to me. Again, everyone who sees what some people say about me on social media knows that don't move me. I don't respond to them. I'm not interested in that.
Mhm.
I'm interested in making sure this country is not overrun by foreigners, is not taken over, that they don't use majority rule against us and taking this country. I'm busy fighting for this nation. I don't care about people's opinions, especially these false opinions that they have out there and these lies that they spread every day. So don't think that I'm a petty person, because if I was, I'd be all over social media answering them every day. I'm not.
Mhm.
All right? But what Pintard did with this young lady, with the first young lady who was talking, instead of giving her his vision, he just said, give me a number. Right? What? She's asking you what you're gonna do. And then this lady,
That's a ready answer. I mean, obviously, I would have been saying things like, well, we're going to look at this whole idea of autism. We're going to say you can get educational classes on it. We can do this. I mean, you could talk off the top of your head on these things because you know you got to do these things for
Yeah.
people. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a fact.
and there's a aspiring F&M candidate for Southern Shores. I think Miss Penn. I heard that she put something out there. She knows nothing about what happened. I think she just saw this one little piece of clip,
I see. Okay.
and she responded to that. And I actually like Danley Penn. I don't have a problem with her, but I'll just say to her, get the full story before you make a post.
Due diligence.
All right, do your due diligence. That's what I do. That's what I always
That's
do.
real leadership.
All right. So you are an aspiring candidate. So get the full facts.
Yeah.
Don't say just because that's your fellow
Yeah.
party person that you should just take a side. Whenever something happens with persons in my party, I investigate first before I open my mouth. All right. And so that's what I wanted to put out there. But there were other persons there who were also very offended, and we have evidence of that. Go ahead.
Understood. Well, I want to do something because the truth is that what's been happening here is that we've gotten away from all of the fanfare of what happened downtown today. And really, Belinda Wilson and Mr. Ferguson, they did a yeoman's job as to marching their people down the Bay Street. And there was no incidents. There was none of that kind of stuff today. And I thought that they were very impressive because a lot of people thought that they were going to come out there and they were going to be, turning up the heat and really carrying on bad and that kind of stuff. That's what they were expecting. I know that for a fact because I got that within the media. I know that's what they were thinking. And that's why so many media people were down there waiting on these big fights and stuff to happen. But that didn't happen because they were very, very decent and they had to also show the others who were also believing that they were going to carry on bad that it's not about that. It's about trying to get things done in a business fashion because they want the people's money. And they're right in doing that. And I support that. And I know that many Bahamians support this whole idea. So when you talked about that, this was an interview that was done early in the day because Belinda Wilson was able to talk with members of the media. And some of the things that she said were things like this.
Come and speak to the people directly. And again, I reiterate, the people are waiting to hear how much money they're getting and when they are getting it. That's the bottom line.
What do you make of comments from critics who might argue that you forfeited an opportunity to meet with the PM given threat strikes?
Listen, how many times I gotta keep saying the same thing? Last week, Wednesday, we were out here. When the Prime Minister was right there, he said, we will meet with us by Monday. When he was finished, I said in his face, if you do not meet with us by Monday, or the meeting is unsatisfactory, we'll be back out here. I tell him the same thing at the table on Monday. So where the trend is. Here, trend is a promise, and we out here, we kept our promise.
Can you tell us about the conversation you had with Mr. Rami just now?
No, we were just pointing out to Mr. Rami that we did not have to be here today if the government side had provided for us the salary review, a full, comprehensive salary review. And so again, they did not say the truth because the salary review only covers middle management and technical officers. So the rest of the civil service is not in the salary review. So we've asked them to give us the percentages for every category of workers and the dollar amount that they should be expecting. And we want the money October payday. So we've impressed upon Mr. Rami, the Director of Communication, to be the middleman and communicate clearly to the Prime Minister what we've already articulated to him over and over in emails, in letters, at the tables, in voice notes, and WhatsApp messages.
Your thoughts on the speech last night?
I already said the speech is really empty. What the members wanted to hear is how much money they're getting and when they're getting it. So I think he wasted part-time last year.
What if the Prime Minister doesn't come down here and address union public servants today?
But if he doesn't come to address us, then it means that he's not brave. He's a coward in the first place. But he said he doesn't want a middleman. We a middleman and a middlewoman. So the people are here for him to address them directly. If he doesn't come, then we have to go back and speak to the people to know what our next move will be.
Earlier, before we were live, you expressed concerns perhaps about the Prime Minister's health.
Yes, because we have met with the Prime Minister now for several hours. March the 4th, September the 3rd, September the 9th, October the 13th, and we've discussed the same things over and over and over with the Prime Minister. And he seemed not to remember, and some of the things he said, oh, I don't recall saying that. Oh, I don't recall agreeing with that. And we had to actually pull out our minutes. I actually had to pull out the Hansard from the House of Assembly to say to the Prime Minister,
What is this?
yes, you said it, and this is the day you said it. So I think that he should probably, and I'm not being inhumane because all of us are aging, but he should probably go and check out his memory. Because I don't want to say he's outright lying. So if he does not recall, and it's something that we've addressed with him on numerous occasions, that's a cause for concern.
Any reports yet from if school operations were affected by the number of teachers that are out here today?
Oh, I don't know, maybe the Minister of Education in the classroom teaching. Her and the Permanent Secretary, maybe they should go in the classroom for one day and they'll feel what teachers feel.
Is there a sign of relief, though, that because we were told teachers weren't initially under this category of public servants, but we're told that being integrated, they're going to be recipients. Is that a silver lining?
I don't want to call it a sigh of relief, but I want to say it's more that us as union leaders, we pressed the Prime Minister to clarify what he said in the House of Assembly and what Minister Pierre Glover Rose said on June the 18th in her budget communication in the House of Assembly. They said, both of them, the Prime Minister and Minister Pierre Glover Rose both said that all public servants are going to receive a pay increase across the board. So we now, on October the 15th, and that was said from May and June, we're still waiting for the documentation. So as union leaders, we want the documentation so that we will be able to clearly and to be able to explain to our members what they can expect. Now, I can tell you, Simon Wilson, the Financial Secretary, the Permanent Secretary of Finance, and the senior officials of all the various ministries, they've already greased their pockets. They got thousands and thousands of dollars in retroactive pay. But it's the small man who has to walk on the street and who has to beg the Prime Minister for a bowl of porridge. It's unfair. And we're calling for fairness, equity, and equality. So, Prime Minister, if you're brave, come out the House of Assembly and come out now.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson.
My Lord. You know, when you hear these things like this, that's very, very upsetting. A couple of things she said on the show in that particular interview with the various reporters today. And I believe that they may have missed what she's saying, because she mentioned a couple of things. She says the Prime Minister is having trouble remembering things. See, nobody wants to talk about that, but that's also an issue when it comes to what happens in the governance of our country. See, when she said that, my whole thought pattern went back to the July budget debate, when he had said that, listen here, I said nothing about any surpluses. I mean, the entire media knew that he said about these surpluses.
Yeah.
He talked about these surpluses, and we had a big debate on that, myself and Papa, who calls the show. We had a big debate on that. He said, Steve, what does the surpluses mean? Have I saying it right? And we explained it. And I said, look here. And I told him what the whole matter was all about, the surpluses. I said, well, he's obviously saying that there's so much money that's going to be in his budget that the surplus is going to be where you're going to be able to glean some of that money from to pay everybody who's supposed to be paid. I said, so you'll be looking forward to these surpluses and the rest of it. Now, the prime minister came back in October, in August of the same month and said, surpluses. I never said no such thing. I never said that. I never said that. Now, I started to say, wait a second. I got my dates back. I looked into it. I know he said surpluses. It's all through his budget debate. It's all through what all the Simon Wilson. It's all what's the gentleman name for the Fidelity Bank, Gorman, the fellow from the Fidelity Bank,
Gavin Bow.
Garvin Bow. They all talk about it. I'm saying, well, what you mean he didn't say this? The entire Guardian and Tribune said, of course you said it, and they debated this thing over and over. And he said, he didn't say that. Now, that was the first side. Then you hear this thing what now Belinda is talking about. And people have been saying this to me often enough times that, you think he's still on top of things? That's how they put it. You think he's still on top of things? And I'm like, I don't know, because, I'm hoping that he is, because, I like Brave, and everybody likes Brave. And my whole thing is that I hope he's fine. But you see, when she said that so explicitly just now, that he having trouble remembering things, that's a medical condition that we all know what that means, Can you have a person who's running the finances of this country forgetting everything? See, that's a big story. People don't see that. They'll say, oh, you're just going on with that. No. Pay attention to it. Pay attention to it. These things happen. All of us aging. These things do happen. See, that's what I'm saying today. And so I don't want to make a big deal out of it. I'm just saying that this whole thing about not remembering and this thing and the next thing and one thing to the next, it's scary. It is scary for me. I can tell you that.
It's not remembering, it's outright lying.
Well, that's
my opinion.
It may be that. It may be outright lying. But you see, you got a choice. You're not remembering or you're outright lying. See,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. The people have to decide, is he just not telling the truth, or is he just got some kind of memory lapse?
What this reminds me of, Steve, is it reminds me of Joe Biden.
Yes,
when he was too old to do what he needs to do.
Remind me of that too.
And Pintard reminds me of Kamala Harris, because everything was about word solids and entertainment, and let's just come to work and have fun, and let's sound intelligent, even though that doesn't work out good for her. And I feel like Trump going against the two of them at the same time. He only had one at a time, but I feel like I going against the two of them at the same time. A plain speaking man who just loves his country. And that's it. I'm not perfect. I'm going to make mistakes, but I love my country, man. And I love my Bahamian people.
That's the right thing to do.
Whenever I see my people abused, I get that feeling like what Moses got when he saw the Israelite being abused by the Egyptian taskmaster. That something happens to me when I see my people abused. And that has been my thing for many, many years.
You must love the country.
But I love this country, man. And that's it. And I don't know, if you feel that you're going to get somewhere with PLP and FNM the way they've been failing all these years. I mean, I don't understand that. Someone said today, yeah, but we have a new leader. And FNM said that. But, it's the same party. They're saying that Pintard is a new leader.
Okay.
But it's the same party, the same mistakes. If I had seen something, that Pintard was a success in while in government, then I could give him that credit. I haven't seen that, Steve. I haven't seen that. Tell me one thing that the FNM was a success at, or that the Pintard was a success at in the last administration. I'm just being honest. I'm not trying to criticize, even though I have a right to, because I was paying them. I'm trying to be honest. Let's sit down and think. What, on national issues, what did the FNM really do for this country? Even on Dorian. Okay, we understand we had Dorian, but you stole our building supplies. You hid our building supplies. That's theft to me, misappropriation. You hid our building supplies from innocent people. You kept
People don't needed the money. People
bodies
needed the schools.
of our family members in trailers. let them rot in there, and then gave them unmarked graves of dishonor. All right.
That actually
Um,
happened.
yes, you know, they broke the law. They broke the constitution of this country by doing these COVID visas, Steve. That's against the law. You cannot prevent a Bahamian from coming in this country for any reason, not no matter what's wrong with them.
Yes.
You cannot prevent them. That's why in America, the stipulations they put on us, they couldn't put on Americans because they can't put stipulations on Americans to come home. But for us, we were forced to buy a COVID visa. Then, when we heard about who the benefactors are, is someone connected to the FNM.
Exactly.
We heard of them trying to basically sell off all of our heritage sites, man. All of our forts, they was given to themselves. You know, these kinds of things happen under the FNM. I can't sit down and think, and someone can call your show and say these are the good things that the FNM did, and then we can discuss that. But I can't think. I saw a lot of theft, a lot of corruption. I saw Brent Sumner get $60 million in contract. I think in the first year. All right, no bid contracts. One person told me, yeah, because he good at what he do. So why did he get the post office contract? Because he good at what he do. He said that Minutes called him. He didn't try to get that. He didn't for it. Minutes called him and said, listen, I won't give you this. Because see, if someone donates to a party, they gotta find ways to get money back to them. And so that Minutes Brent deal was another way to get money because they owe him. We got to get some deals to get money back to you because you funded the party. That's what they do. And so these were crooked deals under the FNM. And it's the same thing under the PLP, but some people, like, they have this amnesia and they forget how we suffered under the FNM. And Minutes, admitting he did nothing for us, came and said, next time, eh? And I told the same person, I said, okay, I'll leave the FNM alone. I'll go to Pintard. Pintard was the Minister of Youth, Sports, and Culture. He says he is a orange economy person, like I am. He did nothing for the orange economy. All the stuff he promised him to do, he had the budget. He could have done anything he wanted to do. Anything. He had the budget of youth, sports, and culture. He could have empowered our orange economy people, but he did nothing for them. He was the worst ever. They couldn't even get Junkanoo going on time. Junkanoo was a mess under them. Everything was horrible in culture.
It could be a mess again this time around.
Our youth was suffering. Youth programs were suffering. Couldn't get any money. And sports, they were begging to go and represent this country. The young people had to go with sponsor sheets to go beg to go represent our country. They stopped all the sports program. Come on, man. There was nothing he was good at. Agriculture. He was in charge of Crown Land. All right, the agricultural Crown Land.
Yes.
He can't tell me no one he granted Crown Land to. He can't tell me anything that he has done as a success in agriculture. We did this on my watch. You know, we transform agriculture. Nothing, Steve. But just we have a new leader in the FNM. But your leader has done what? I'm talking about this, not his personal life.
Dilly squad. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. We've got calls on the line, and I want to say to you all, you can call me right now at 376-9234 or 821-9234. Call me. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what Linda them did today, Belinda Wilson them. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about all the things that's been happening here in the country today. It's been a rough ride today, especially for Mr. Davis. He would not say that it was a rough ride for him, but he sure didn't come out of the house. And when the people wanted him to come out of the house, even though he said that he wanted to meet with the people directly and talk with them, he just didn't come out because Belinda was outside. And this whole thing was that he was there. And he didn't. That's what actually happened. So let's take a call. Hard copy, how are you? Are you there? Yes.
Yes, I am here, and I'm very perturbed, Mr. McKinney, and I'm speaking as an organic Bahamian. I'm being very truthful. I'm being very much to the point, and I'm being very, very realistic. I don't think for 1 minute that the FNM, PLP, and people who are attacking Mr. Bain on social media see the condition the state of affairs and what and where this country is heading. As an organic Bahamian, and I grew up during the colonial days, the Bahamas is like we are in a boxing ring or like little children playing marbles. Or you take my marble. We don't realize that the Bahamas, if we don't do what we have to do, we ain't gonna have no country. Anybody with sense now would not be attacking anybody who's eating Bahamian, drinking Bahamian, thinking Bahamian. What I see happening in this country with some of the politicians and a lot of them at large, it's like you on a dance floor, dancing the night away, and someone is at the window with a couple hand grenades ready to throw. The Bahamas, we better know what we are doing. We're going to lose this country if we don't get back to brass tacks and realize where we are with this immigration situation. If Mr. Bain is a pedophile, a thief, a murderer, everything in the book, and has nothing to see with his mission. He is eating Bahamian, thinking Bahamian, drinking Bahamian, because him and a few of the people who are in the spiritual realm, they say that this country is heading.
Yes.
And if we play games with this country, we're going to lose it, then we're going to gain our consciousness. As a Bahamian, I want every Bahamian to stop attacking Mr. Bain, whether he's a street boy, a white-collar criminal, a blue-collar criminal, and look at the state of the affairs of this country. It's not a Lincoln Bain issue. It's the state of this country. We're going to lose it. And if we don't protect it, we will lose it.
Understood.
And when we lose it, ain't no coming back. You had it. You didn't appreciate it. You didn't realize what's going on. Now it's gone. It's not a Lincoln Bain thing. Leave Lincoln Bain alone. Focus on what is happening on this country.
Yeah.
Mr. Bain, he sees what is happening and he's speaking out as to what he sees is wrong. And there are many more Lincoln Bains who see it. Some don't have no balls to say, and some women, like was said, got balls and a vagina. See where this head is, this country is heading. We're in dire straits. The world is watching, and if we play games, we're going to lose this country.
Appreciate it. Thanks for your call. Thanks for your call.
Coming back.
I understand.
Concentrate on country, even if you don't like him, you hate him, and you will crucify him. Just demand his merit. He's thinking Bahamian, and that's all I have to say. We need to get it on and stop with this foolishness.
Thank you for your call. Appreciate the call. Thank you so much for your call. And people are hard-headed about this whole thing because that's how it is. Hard copy, please hold for me. We'll get to you in a minute. Please.
McKinney, please, I need to get on.
Yeah, well, you wait till I get put you on, okay? All right, thanks.
Yes, sir.
Hard copy, how are you?
McKinney.
Yeah, I'm not talking to you yet, brother.
All is well?
Yes, yeah. Go ahead, sir.
See, all is well?
Yes, sir.
My president, how are you?
Yeah.
Mr. Bain, how are you?
Lincoln.
I'm awesome, man. How you doing?
God is the greatest. I begged to differ with the lady a while ago. To be honest with you, and listen to what I'm saying, and I enjoy when Lincoln Bain is being attacked because the man is built for battle. And we need him to be. I'm so serious.
I hear you.
We need him. We need him to be attacked. To show Bahamians. This man got beat from the pole already, and he ain't going home. He ain't joined all the political party. He ain't going off to sing it. He ain't going nowhere. I need him to keep on being attacked because the stone that the builders reject usually be the head cornerstone. So I need for him to continually be attacked by these roads. Please, you're doing your job, Y'all ain't looking good. him a big job. Have a good day.
Appreciate the call. Yeah, that's how it is, man. We've got so many calls coming in.
Steve, I just want to say this quickly
yeah,
as you go to
go
your
ahead.
call. I'm serious about this country. I'm not talking this. I'm living this every day. I've given up my personal life to focus on saving this country. Steve, as we sit here, I am on bail. I've been on bail since 2022. Was that 3 years?
Mhm.
I'm on bail because I decided that our country was being invaded by illegals and I wanted to stand up. We went to the House of Parliament and we stood up and they decided to attack me. I'm on bail for that incident where I was attacked. All right, to this day, we decided that the government wasn't listening. We went to CARICOM, Steve, and we were attacked. I was kidnapped, all right, by police officers, all right. I saw the police officer that kidnapped me today. I went and shook his hand, right. The other police officer that participated in kidnapping me, I went up to him and told him I forgive him, all right. I have no issues with people. I don't hold grudges, etc. But I just want you to know that I spent time in the cell on a floor with urine all over it, stool smeared all over the wall, because I'm fighting for this nation. I don't want power. I want a country that works. And I'm not going to get that from the PLP or the FNM. How do I know that? Because they've never given it to us. They always get in and then do their own thing, and we suffer. So we have to step up ourselves, and that's who we are, Steve. And so just so you know, I'm on 2 different sets of bail.
My Lord.
Right now, as we speak, standing up and fighting the powers that be for this country.
My Lord. Bless you. Blessings. I've got other calls online. Let me take this call. Let's see. Yeah. 1 second. I have to take this call from Ontario. Oh, goodness. Okay. Hard copy. How are you? Go ahead, sir. I lost both calls. Did I? Let's see. Okay. Those of you who were calling to me just now, especially that person from Ontario, just call me again. And caller, I just lost you just now by mistake. So just call me back, please. I will take your call. Just call me back. Thank you so much. All right. Now, Lincoln Bean, it's right now 6:32. I want to run to a break. Let me just do this thing. Hard copy, how are you? Hard copy, how are you? Yes. I'm listening to you, sir.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Mr. Ben.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, Steve, I just wanted to confer to you. First of all, Mr. Ben, I hope you notice they're no longer talking about the $64,000. We gave them something else to talk about today. You know, I think the Benny people need to avoid this distraction. But that's what it is.
Please.
We need to focus on what is the issue. And something else that I found just a bit interesting. We're all focusing on the fact that the Prime Minister said that everybody's going to get their money. So the persons who are going to get their money, that they're going to get them before Christmas. But if I could recall, I remember it initially being December 1st. So my question is, how did it get from December 1st to before Christmas? So that means it could be any time now. They're just running circles around the
Oh, boy.
over and over and over and over again. And it don't make sense. So the Bahamian people of there, listen, like the previous caller said, there's no reason for us to attack or to cast any blame on Mr. Bain. Mr. Bain, from what I see, and I think that I'll be honest, I was just a little bit offended as well when I saw some of the actions. But Mr. Bain did what any standard man would do. And he apologized. And I accept it apology. So
Thank you, man.
You have my encouragement. And I don't want you to be discouraged by any of these naysayers. Because they're playing the same old tricks, it's just a different day. Have a good afternoon, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Boy, I tell you, that's how it is sometimes, you know. Hard copy, how you doing today?
McKinney,
Yes.
you can hear me?
me?
I can hear you now, loud and clear. Go ahead,
First,
please.
thank you for allowing me to come on. Thank God for His mercy on you, Mr. Bain, your radio station, and this nation.
Yes.
I want to put a question to, I like Mr. Bain to answer, and you, Mr. McKinney, because you're a great knowledgeable person like Mr. Bain. I want Mr. Bain first to answer it on the implication. It appears that 90% of the Bahamians are sleeping. 2 weeks ago, if I could recall, I may be wrong, Mr. McKinney, the Minister of Foreign Affairs signed some agreement with the Filipinos
Yes.
for movement of people from the Philippines to the Bahamas.
Yeah, free
Now, I
movement
don't
of
know
people.
much Bahamian, yes, I don't know much Bahamian interested in moving to the Philippines to work. That ain't been a big number, but I just came off the internet. The Philippines have 115 million people, and out of the 115 million people, the working crew that's working, they have a job problem. The Philippines have a lot of citizens not working. So their government is trying to exercise or get them out of the country to go in other people's countries. Mr. McKinney, we already have Philippines doing all the maid work from the Bahamians.
Yes,
That's
yes.
the key. And
I'm aware.
Then the hospital is doing that. What I'm saying is, and I'm going to hang up right now, Mr. McKinney and Mr. Bain, am I wrong to say, or am I right to say that the Bahamianization that we thought we had from independence is dead and finished? I'm going to hang up and listen. Because once the Filipinos get here in that number, the Haitians is over.
Yes.
I'm going to hang up and listen. Thank you, Mr. McKinney.
Thank you. Very, very kindly. Yeah.
He asks if the Bahamianization from independence is dead. Well, I can say this. If it is not dead, we are going to kill it.
For sure.
All right? Because that was Bahamianization 1.0. That was to get Bahamians jobs and those kinds of opportunities.
Exactly.
But we're past that. All right? We're not servants anymore. The new Bahamian is going to be an owner. And our whole focus is going to be to make Bahamians owner, to make them able to live their dreams, because they're going to build the institutions and have the ingenuity that this country needs to go to the next level. A few politicians in the cabinet should not determine what happens in the whole entire country.
Yeah.
Some foreigners who don't know our culture, not from our country, shouldn't be the persons determining what happens in our country. We are going to give Bahamians the opportunity through grants and other means. We're going to make sure they have the only thing that's missing, capital, to be able to bring forward that dream that God put inside them, so that we can benefit from it. And so Bahamianization that Finland did, it was great for its time, but we are going to fulfill that.
Absolutely. More succinctly on this whole matter that he talked about, Bahamianization, that policy, as Lincoln Bean said, is long dead, that particular part of it. But we're supposed to be somewhere in the avenue now of 5.0, that kind of thing. That was 1.0 back then. We're supposed to be 5.0 or 10.0 these days, because we want ownership. That's the bottom line. And Bahamians want to own some things in this country, but we are far away from that. So, in a way, yes, I hear what this gentleman is saying. The Filipinos coming here, along with the Chinese being here, along with the Mexicans who are here, along with the Haitians who are in mass numbers, Bahamianization will certainly be dead as a doornail in the next 3 or 4 years from now. Totally dead. There's no reviving of that. We're going to have to come with something fresh, something new, like a new national development, national plan for this country, which Lincoln Bain and those have already put together for this Vision 2030. See, I'm saying to you, that is the new direction. We're going to put more teeth on that. And once more teeth is on that, everybody is now going to be involved in such a way that we're going to be able to see where we are actually going in certain directions in tourism and banking and that kind of stuff. That is what has to happen right now. And that the curtains already open on that, because Lincoln Bean and his team did a fantastic job at the Superplex the other day in releasing the whole idea for this whole plan. And I know a lot of people have not really been reading this plan. I keep telling you all, read this plan. You know why? Because it offers the whole future as to where we want to really go, where the whole COI team is now pushing for us to go. We want ownership. That's what we want, ownership, because the whole thing with this 1.0, 5.0, 10.0, that's finished and done with. We need a new kind of talk, about what is going to happen in this country for the ideas of Bahamianization and the ownership component for the Bahamianization to happen in this country. All right? And so
Yeah.
that's what my 2 cents is on that.
Steve, I just want to say this. I was in meetings with, after that whole protesting, that I was in meetings with some foreign investors in this country. They've invested, major money into this country.
Mhm.
And they have hundreds of millions of dollars more that they want to invest, but they can't see how Bahamians don't see that this country is broken. It doesn't work. Like, they just put everything on hold because they're like, this country isn't making any sense. Like
That's correct.
everything you're trying to do, they block you, and they just want under the table pay.
See what is happening? They're also blocking Bahamians. See, Bahamians are being blocked by the oligarchs, and not only that, they're being blocked by the government. So you got a fella who had this thing on Paradise Island the other day. He's Toby. He's like, no one knows what they're going to do with him.
Mhm.
Then you have this fella.
He was out there at the protest.
Yeah, you have this fella Vance who did this whole thing about skydiving and the rest of it. I mean, these are Bahamians. Vance is the actual son of the great King Erickson, the fellow who beat the drum,
Mhm.
the Bahamian, who's international, a star. He's the son of him, Vance. Came to the Bahamas, and these fellas are playing him around like a nobody. It's unbelievable. That's what they're doing to us.
Yeah.
So when that happens to us, people on the outside are looking in Lincoln. They're saying, "This is the broken country. These guys talking all this stuff, but I ain't really see." And then they want something under the table, and you can't get nothing done anyhow. I don't
These
know.
guys put together money to build
It's
a
unbelievable.
medical clinic, to
Yes.
build a kind of hospital. They put the money together. They have money. And they said the government blocked them.
I love
It's like, why don't you want this? Even the Bahamians can use this. Like, why are you doing this? They wanted to go into solar and solar generation. The government blocked them. Everything they want to do, the government blocked them. And they're like, this country isn't working. And I had to explain to them what's really going on. Who's benefiting from all of this. All right. But I just want you to know that Bahamians need to wake up. The foreigners have already woken up.
Yes, they have. Anyway, hot copy. How are you?
Good evening. How you doing?
Peace. All is well. Is this Brave? Is this Brave Davis calling me?
No. I'm calling because a very important issue came up on the show regarding ASD students with autism.
Right. Yes.
My name is Trevor Green. I'm the candidate for board parties. I'm also an educator.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something that is very important to me. And I would like to tell those persons, especially who are students with special needs, that the COI has a very, very comprehensive plan for special needs students.
Okay.
And I'd just like to go over the core objectives. Our core objectives involve.
You are the educator. You're from Andrews, right? Where you from?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. I remember you now. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah. Would be one of our core objectives. There are four really, but one of them is equity. And what we want to do is ensure that all Bahamian children, regardless of their ability or disability, receive the quality education that is including an inclusive setting. That means ensuring that everybody, those who are able, sit in a regular classroom and they're not segregated from the other students. Okay. Then we're looking at early identification. We're establishing, I know they did a screening about a year or so back, but speaking to some of the teachers, I found out that those screenings didn't use the information. The data is still just there and no one is using it. And that is very important information, especially when we're talking about special needs children. We use that information to establish national screening and early intervention programs.
Yes.
And that's core objective 2. And that's third core objective is empowerment. Because even though our children have special needs in some ways, they can't do the same thing that the other children do.
Yeah.
Second, equip these children with life, vocational, and digital skills to ensure that when their parents would have leave the scene, that they'd be independent, be able to take care of themselves, and wouldn't have to rely so much on family members, even though that is important, or the government. And fourth, the community integration. We can foster a lot of social acceptance and partnership between schools and families and communities. And those things are very important when it comes to children with ASD, autism, all special needs students. It's very important, and we need to ensure that the people out there know that the COI has a comprehensive plan. And the plan.
Well, I'd like to see more of it because I'm also interested in this whole thing because it should be something that we are going to talk about in a big way so that people can understand the ins and outs of the whole matter and how they can get the kind of help, the resources that they need for their children and the rest of it. Because we've got a whole long list of people suffering from autism and that kind of thing, especially the young ones. And the parents now need to know exactly how they can get this kind of help. And that's why I'm interested in doing a comprehensive program with yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important, and we don't want anybody to feel left out. It's important that one of the things that when I taught in the U.S., one of the things that I did was I did a PowerPoint on self-advocacy that was used throughout the entire Dade area.
Right.
When it came to teaching special needs teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And self-advocacy is so important, especially when it comes to social aid, because oftentimes people tend to try to take advantage of or
yes.
the lack of information. They dismiss students with special needs. By teaching them self-advocacy, they are able to speak for themselves. They're able to advocate for themselves, and that is very important, especially when it comes to independent living. So I just want to assure the Bahamian public that especially people who have children or even adults with special needs, we got you covered.
Thank you for your call, and I do want to talk with you, so I'm going to reach out to you. Mr. Green, and see how best we can get this whole thing organized. Because
thank you, and Mr. Ben, he's very passionate about fighting for the Bahamian people.
Yeah, well, we know that. We know that for sure. There's no question.
He's very passionate, so it's hard to see someone being taken advantage of or dismissed.
Right.
Especially in his presence.
Appreciate your call. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good sign. You got somebody right there in your organization who is in fact looking at this whole thing because he did all this thing in school in the United States, so he knows he's a good person to come and bring something new to the table, and so we can have some things done.
Not only did he do it in school in the United States, he actually trained the persons in the United States.
Right.
He was very sought after trainer.
Mm-hmm.
People talk about, the candidates and who are the candidates. We have qualified persons who want to contribute to this country.
Yes.
But we're so used to having these same old political names and these same people who've been messing up this country. We don't want real Bahamians to really pitch in and do what they have to do. But he's very qualified. He trained persons in America, and he decided that, you know what, I want to come do this in my country. And I want to contribute in my country. He's a master's degree in this.
Right.
And so he's one of those educated candidates that we have.
So is anything good? I want to talk with Griffin.
Yeah.
I want to talk with her again. Was there anything that came out of that today? I mean, obviously something happened today because Michael Pintard went off on a limb, but here it is now. A person called on this show today and brought some new hope, some new vision on some things. I want you to just extrapolate on that for me. Just what are your thoughts on this whole matter now, considering that you have another member of the COI who has done all this stuff and is ready to implement most of these things here in the Bahamas?
This Mr. McKinney is what attracted me to the Coalition of Independence as an organization. My thing is this: if you want to stand forward or put yourself forward as leader, at least have some advice. At least start thinking and have some future focus.
Exactly.
Yes, information for us. So all I wanted was an open dialogue with it. So I'm asking this and to be shut down right away, that tells me a lot on the character, on the
Understood.
leadership of the person. So this is what Coalition of Independence is all about. We seek to inspire and empower. Our number one resource is the people. So if you can't take care of the people, don't say you're going to step forward to represent them.
Understood.
Okay, so my understanding of the matter is he had nowhere else to go except but down today. Moving on from that, on to the national issues. I'm here now fighting for the inspiration of my youth. I really want them to understand. Now, I hope this is an eye opener for them to realize if you don't step forward and you're eligible to vote, you are voting for this continual disregard and disrespect.
Yes. Right.
Okay? It's not fear mongering or anything of that sort. It's actuality. It's fact. It's truth. Step forward. Put your voices forward, even if it's just by going in the booth and voting your conscience.
Right.
Be educated and continue to vote with discernment. At the end of the day, if we are as persons like myself who have an autistic child, sorry to keep bringing that up, but this is something that touches me
It's
to the
home.
core.
It's home.
Yes,
I
it does.
understand.
If I don't stand up, say today or tomorrow, I am not here, who's going to take care of my child? How is this country prepared to take care of my child? How is my child going to succeed? How are they going to be a part of a normal environment, quote unquote? So I'm trying to understand you as a leader. How can you say you're going to represent me as a whole because she is a part of me?
Yes.
At the end of the day, we have to have serious persons put themselves forward.
This puts us all on the
Yes,
spot. You're right about
yes.
that. You're dead right.
Do not disrespect or dismiss me as a person that could potentially put you in the seat of governance. You just proved to us you didn't have the answer, which is fine, but you didn't even do it in a respectful manner.
Appreciate the call. Appreciate your.
I appreciate the call in reference to Mr. Trevor Green coming on and shedding light, because yet still to this day, though the launch was sometime in June, persons haven't gone on the site. So I appreciate us continuing to remind them we have a vision, we have actionable plans in place. Go ahead, learn it, read it.
Well, the amazing thing is that this is what makes the party a little different than the regular party. I'll tell you why. I'll say why I say that. Because you see, you have manifestos and you have this, their
blueprint,
and that kind of stuff, right? Okay, fine. But we haven't heard anything articulated by the candidates themselves, most of whom we don't even know from the two parties that we know out for the most part, the FNM and the PLP. We've not heard enough from them, and whatever they're talking, trying to pick up the pieces and trying to fly with some things that was on their watch, and they didn't get a chance to do anything. So we're not hearing anything new. We're not hearing no newness coming from them.
After all these years and all this travel?
To be saying now that, okay, this is what we have planned. These are the big showcases of what we're going to plan for this country. We have a national development plan. This is how it's going to happen. Nothing like that is being done right now. The only team that has done something so far has been the Lincoln Bean group. That party, that political party. The COI have done some things. They've done some amazing things. In fact, you all have gone and put together the whole structure of your party framework, and you've named all these candidates. You're the only ones who are front who named these candidates to the point where people are now saying, well, we know that this is good, we know that person. But the rest of them have not really named anybody really, except for they just named Sabas, and I see where Robert Karen is look as if he's going to be getting something to do with the Bray Davis team for the PLP, because they have him down at MyCal, and that's what it looks like. But they didn't announce him yet. I'm just saying. But for the most part, you don't see anybody tangible making any noise in any real way. Like, for instance, Shannon Cartwright. Where's he going to run? Where's Dwayne's strong Dwayne Sands? Where he's going to run? Where's Michael Pintard going to run? They tell me that Michael Pintard is tipping his hat to go into Central Grand Bahama, where our fellow Hiram Lewis is now. And I don't know what that means, but that's what I've been hearing on the ground and within the F&M. That is what's going to happen.
So, what will be the difference from Marco City
Uh,
to Central Grand
Don't
Bahama?
ask
What?
me. They know the demographics down there. I don't really know it, but I'm just saying that is what they're saying. I just heard this on the beach on Saturday past, and this was a big conversation. So, and they were adamant with this, and I'm saying, well, why would he be running from Marco City into Central? But that doesn't make any sense to me. But they say no. The thing is that he is just on the run. He's trying to continue to be the party leader and that kind of stuff, and that's why he's doing this thing. I said, oh, that's news to me. But a lot of things like that have happened, and we don't even know where some of the PLP candidates are. We know that we hear that this and that happened here. Clint Watson want to go in this thing, but we don't know for sure. And they've not named anybody yet to say these are the fellows who are running these particular parts of the election. And that's what it brings us up now to this whole idea of the by-election. There may be a by-election in Lincoln Being. It could be a by-election. There may not be a by-election. It could be a general election within the next 4-6 months from now. And Brave Davis can forego a by-election and really speak to the Governor General that he wants to forego this and just do the general election instead. But that's up to him. He has to make that shot. He has to call that shot. But it doesn't look good either way for him because he has all these troubling problems that he has haunting him right now. And the unions and all that, just a part of it. And there are many, many unions have difficulties with him right now. But he's got a lot of things that he's got to sort out. So I'm just looking at the fact that if they call a by-election, I see where some people have done some stuff on this whole thing, but let me just give you the insight on this. A by-election, if called, has to be called within 21 to 30 days from the date that the man is declared dead.
To the speaker.
Okay? The speaker now was informed the House, informed the Governor General, this is what the case is. Now, the speaker I hear this talk about the speaker will have to wait till his man is buried. That is nonsense. That is not to happen. Anytime a person dies in the House of Assembly, and it's a sitting member of Parliament, you have 21 to 30 days to call this election, if it's a by-election. Now, sometimes it stretches over because of the weekend part of it. It stretches over. But the point is, within that particular time frame is when that meeting's called, that the by-election's called. That gives, it's a quick turnaround thing, but that also takes a lot of money. In this particular by-election, it's going to cost money. If they call a by-election, it's going to cost money. And the by-elections can be so close to a general election, which means that perhaps he shouldn't call a by-election, should go into the general election. But the trick in that is this: if you get beaten in a by-election, or if you call a by-election, you get beat, you're in trouble for the general election. See, all these things he's got to figure out. Brave Davis has to figure that out. Everybody else is basically ready. I know Lincoln Beam them are ready to call a by-election. They got candidates on there ready right now. You see, so some people are ready, but Brave Davis is going to make that call. Now, if he doesn't call that, he has until May, let's say early May, to call a general election. That will be around about May 6th, May 4th, that kind of thing. So you're looking at the period right now. In total, you have about, say, 8 months to call the whole thing. Another 2 months, 2 more months of this month. And then, of course, later, January, February, March, April, May. That's the 5 months. So you got about 6 months right now to call either a a by-election or a general election. I believe that Mr. Davis would call a general election. I don't believe that he would call a by-election. It's too expensive. Let me tell you, it's expensive. It's expensive to have a by-election on the back of the taxpayers' money right now. People ain't got no money. The taxpayers would not go for that. They would want to see a general election happen one time. That'll be the best thing out. But maybe he'll just call a by-election. I don't know. So you have that, the whole idea I'm trying to stress to you people today is this. You got 21 to 30 days for a by-election. Okay? That's what you have. That's the time you're playing with. And then the general elections are going to happen. A fixed time basically is around May. They like to call the elections around May. So May we're looking at for a general election. All right? And if it's before we go into a general election. So the time is so close. Everything is so close. This time is just eating up itself just the 15th. We just turned it this month. It's already the 15th. So I'm saying to you, when Mr. Davis makes up his mind, we all will know what the story will be. Right now, it's not a good time for him to make up his mind on the matters that are before him. You got the immigration problem, big thing, big problem. I don't know how he's going to get out of that. You got the crime problem. People still shooting and killing one another all the time. You've got all these other problems. The economy, the economics problem in this country is pathetic. It is so pathetic that they don't even have the money to pay the civil servants who have been working.
Wow.
Everything has just gone crazy in this town. So here it is. He got a lot of things to figure out. You got to pray for him because he don't know. Let me tell you something. I could tell you this. I don't think he knows what he's actually doing on this particular score.
No, that's why he burned.
That's what's actually happening. And the people themselves are going to feel the brunt of this because if the people don't understand that this fella can't remember, as some people believe, Lincoln believes that, Barry Davis may not be telling the truth on some things, but he could remember straight. But what if he can't remember things? You got to remember that. You got to call this by election within 21 to 30 days, tell you that.
Yeah, I want to say this, Steve, before we go. I'm seeing that the FNM is all up in arms over this thing today. We now have a statement from Senator Michael Barnett Ellis. All right.
Is that right?
Yeah, who's this attorney at law. What's her name? Pan, Denley Pan, put a statement out there, and others are putting a statement out there. They're decrying me.
But they have to condemn you because you're the fellow in the room.
I have no problem.
You're the fellow in the room who now everybody got a problem with just because Lincoln Mean is in our way. Lincoln Mean is in our way. That's what's actually happening.
Yeah, and they
expect that.
They were sitting down, chomping at the bits, waiting for me to have some kind of mishap so they could attack me and etc. But I have no problem with that. That's my focus is on saving this country. But my thing is, they are condemning me for words I said to Michael Pintard, but they're not condemning Michael Pintard for words that he said to me. So it's okay for Michael Pintard to say whatever he wants to anybody. Now, I've already apologized for my part in that.
Right.
And I apologize again for my part in that. That's what a man does. I have no problem with that. I take no weight in apologizing to the Bayman people, right? And to Michael Pintard and to whoever else is offended. But it's like they just jump. They're supposed to be people of integrity. You're a senator. You're a lawyer. You're supposed to be people of integrity. You condone Michael Pintard and his words. Yeah. He came over there. I was minding my own business. I wasn't bothering him. He came over to where I was talking to a lady. All right. And he attacked me. His words are okay, but mine are bad. His words were not true. Mine were true, but mine are bad. How could you condone what he did and attack me?
I just could tell you that's politics.
Yeah, no, but it's more. No, I don't worry about that stuff. I just want to put this out there for the Bayman people to see what's going on here. Steve, I also want to play this for you. Not one of these FNMs who are condemning me, rightly so, rightly condemning me. I've apologized. Not one of these FNMs condemned Michael Pintard when he stood up in the House of Assembly and made accusations against Glennis Hannah Martin. about her husband being found in her house and trying to imply that her name was called. And Glennis had to stand up and defend herself against that nasty attack by Michael Pintard. Not one of those persons condemned him. Here it is.
Of this system, because it's one rule for them and it's a different rule for everybody else. I can tell you about a house. I can tell you about a house where some things happened and your name was called, but I don't want to get into that. So just keep it, just relax yourself. Relax yourself. Honorable members. The chair recognizes the honorable member for Angleton. Relax yourself.
She stood up on her feet.
Nobody knew I was talking about.
Withdraw those comments forthwith.
Honorable members.
Withdraw them forthwith.
Honorable members, you would address the chair.
You're a nasty member of parliament. You are nasty. You are nasty.
Thank you,
You
honorable
are
member.
vicious and you're nasty and you're a liar. You are a liar. Don't call my name. Don't go there.
Honorable members.
I didn't call your name. You
do not give.
You are a vicious.
Don't give.
You are a vicious politician, and you don't want to go there.
Honorable members.
You don't want to go there. You don't want to go there. You don't want to go there.
Honorable members. Mr. Deputy.
Don't give next speaker ever in this house.
Mr. Deputy, I think that, let me just say this before I continue.
That was in our honorable House of Assembly, implying that this honorable woman who has been there for all these years had something to do with her husband's death. Not one of these people, these FNMs who are condemning me, condemned Michael Pintard.
Never. My Lord.
They had nothing to say.
My Lord. When
he did that nasty, diabolical thing in our honorable House of Assembly, not outside on the street, in our honorable. So, in other words, to FNMs, Michael Pintard can say and do whatever he wants. Nobody touch him. Now, Michael Pintard said to her, don't give if you can't take. So how is it that Michael could give and not be able to take? And so not one of them condemned him. Not one of the PLPs condemned Brave Davis when he said the BS word. He cursed in the House of Assembly. Remember that? He said, that is BS. I can't say it on your radio station. That's fine. But a man who loves this country, who's fighting for this country, Pintard ain't gonna get locked up for you. You ain't got to worry about that. Brave is not going to get locked up for you or this country. You ain't got to worry about that. We are fighting for this nation. So much so that is more important than my personal feelings. That's why I said I can apologize, even to Michael Pintard. Michael Pintard, I humbly apologize. But I still need you to answer some questions. That's important. But none of them condemned Michael Pintard, who did that in the honorable House of Assembly, who carries the name honorable.
That was considered a rough thing to do in the House of Assembly, for real.
That was a diabolical thing to do in the House of Assembly.
No question about it.
A woman who lost her husband, is gone. To do that.
My Lord. Hard copy, how you doing? Final call.
Good evening, Mr. McKinney.
Peace.
Peace. Papa,
Hey, Papa, how you doing?
thank God for life and sure. So good day, Mr. Ben.
Good day, my brother. How you doing?
Thank God for life. I say it's getting hot in here, man. It's getting hot. Mr. Ben, I try to figure, like, I listening to the show, right? I listen to a lot of TikTok and Facebook. I hear you doing your job to the Haven people. I keep trying to figure out what you want to apologize for.
Papa, see, you want to know what you're apologizing for?
I have no problem with apologizing to people that I may have offended.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I ain't saying you shouldn't apologize for whatsoever it is. I'm just trying to get the real meaning to what you said, because I heard something on social media today
And I wonder if it's anything to do with what you're talking about now. So, put me like, get me straight, please. What you apologizing for?
Oh, you didn't understand what transpired? I was talking to a woman, not a supporter of us, but she was one of the persons on the march. She works for government, and she had called me over. She was talking to me. Yes, today at the protest. She had called me over and we were having a conversation. Pintard came and joined in our conversation. I don't know why he thought he should come there. At the yeah.
Is this anything to do with what I hear on the radio today, right? I mean, on the TikTok or the Facebook, whatever that is.
What you heard? What did you hear?
What I heard, I don't even want to repeat.
Okay.
And if it's anything to do, if it's anything to do with what I heard, and Mr. Bain going right now, maybe to talk in details, or maybe he would talk in parables, or.
What do you mean? Describe what you heard. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, you were talking to Michael Pintard today. You apologizing to him?
Yeah.
I'm apologizing to the Bahamian public, and I'm apologizing to him. I'm apologizing to them for my part in what happened today. I have no problem with that.
So you was personal with him or something today?
Well, he was personal with me. He came where I was and attacked me. But there was a clip that went out that showed my response to him, and people started attacking me.
That's unfair. You'll never know what they had to say to make you say what you say.
Yeah, so that people started attacking me, but they gave him carte blanche to say whatever he wants to say, but I can't say what I want to say. But I still apologize for my part in it. I don't mind being misunderstood, and I am a man who can say when I am wrong.
When you say be misunderstood, let me see if I understand you right. You say be misunderstood. You mean that you only mean that be misunderstanding that you apologize. You apologize because you feel like you do something wrong or say something wrong, right?
No, I think that was not the appropriate setting. It might have distracted some people. We might have get distracted from the real point of what happened. And so these kind of things what I'm talking about. I still.
We should be talking about each other personal life. We should be doing that's what it is now. That's what it comes to now. That's what it's okay to do it. It's fair grounds.
Well, the gentleman attacked a woman in front of me, and I defended her, and he proceeded to attack my personal life. All right, I responded to him, and as soon as I responded to him, you can see he started to walk off. He couldn't take it.
I think you was plenty, man. I respect you.
Yeah,
I
man.
apologize, and you do it on a timely fashion. And thank God for peace and Steve McKinney still playing a major role. But I don't know who else was going to let you come on. Let you go do your live, which was due. So I thank God for Mr. McKinney, but they can't listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to be talking nationalist voice just like I use a nationalist voice. Thinking what the main object is. Is the main object to make one of these parties the official opposition? Or is the main object is to rescue the Bahamas from the PLP? Because I wonder like...
No. We need to rescue the Bahamas from the PLP and the FNM. Both of them have worked together to destroy this nation. They have partnered in business, and when their business makes money, we suffer.
The question is, see, I know what you're saying is a fact, need to happen. But God gives the people free will even to sin. So I sure they have the free will to do any foolishness they will continue to do in spite of the sense you make it. Lincoln, I know it shouldn't be either or either. Lincoln, if you had to deal with one of, when I say deal, if the Bahamian people wasn't listening to you, and you had to give a little suggestion to either make it either or either, you want the PLP stay there, or you were going to accept maybe some independence or the free national movement to be the next. The question is to go the free national movement to be the next government. But listen,
the Free National Movement and hold on, the Free National Movement and the PLP are one and the same. I want my Bahamian people to realize that. They are not any different. They're working together. And so I can't choose between them. That's what has been deceiving us all these years. We thought we were voting for change, but we was voting for law partners, business partners, and they were working together to screw us this whole time. That's why when they're in opposition, they would say one thing, then when they get in, they continue what their partner was doing or make it worse.
Lincoln, you can tell me what's the difference this time. I hang up and go, right? Thank you, Mr. McKinney. Lincoln, when I hear Brandon McCarthy came out with the DNA that time, who was the government they have for them?
Yes.
And he started saying how the F and the PLP is one. And I kind of just saying, like, in my crazy way of thinking, politically fighting all two one time. I say, that sounds like like how we say, we keep voting for the PLP or F and it's kind of insanity, like you're insane or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I feel like, just like how babies have to call before it walk, right? And enough is enough. Yes, we fed up Lincoln, but you can't force the people in what to do. I think the COI, God willing, is going to get some seats. Maybe they can even be the next government, like you. How you saying? But I'm saying, like, the fight or two of them one time. Yes, what you might be saying is right. But why we can't make one of them the next why we can't make them the third party and the COI be the next opposition or the CIOI be the next government? I think that the job.
I'm not fighting the two of them one time. I'm fighting one party. The PLP and FNM is one.
Okay, they won. But they're in power right now. So how do you get this at all the power? And I mean, you know what it seems like too? I hope, like, I believe, not hope, I believe if you could come on this radio and you say what you say, maybe, yes, there's a big possibility you are sincere and you humbly apologize for going that far and the scene wasn't right. You know, it might be kind of personal, right? But you, I feel like.
Now let me correct something. The words I said were not personal. If you have a government in any other country, when George Bush was trying to run, they brought up his DUI from when he was a teenager driving a car. All right? And they was trying to use that against him. If they find out that anyone who is running to be president of the United States is abusing drugs, do you think they would say that's going low? They would want to know. If a president of the United States goes to get a medical checkup, the country is supposed to know. All right? If you are running and you go for a medical checkup, the election ain't come yet, they want to know. All right? You are working for us. Pintard is working for us. We have to change our mindset and have a proper accountability. If it is the case, and he can just simply answer, if it is the case that he is dealing with stuff that's illegal, we need to know that. Come on, my brother. If he's doing anything illegal, we need to know that. All of us, yes. All of us. Accountability, but you know the difference with me? I put myself forward to the public every Sunday at 5 p.m. And I tell them, anyone who knows anything with me, come on live, not secretly, in front of the whole country, and you expose it. I've been doing that for the last 5 years now, and I've told people what you have on me, expose it to our followers and to the general public out there. Any questions I am asked, no questions are ever off limits. I always answer the people's questions about me, any questions they have, because I believe that leaders should be accountable. But those guys don't answer any questions. They want you to think they're perfect, that God sent them, they drop straight from the heavens. Yes.
Papa, you sound like you're being coached. You're being coached? Because I want to know that, I just asked that question to make sure.
This is how I feel about it, Mr. McKinney. I feel like the PLP is the enemy right now. I know you said the PLP and the FNM is one, Mr. McKinney. Yes, like Mr. McKinney.
You figure that he should take on one of them, one at a time.
Papa, let me help you. That's how we get deceived every election. We say, oh, this, let me talk, man. Hold on, give me a sec, Papa. Give me a sec. Every election, we say, oh, this one who win, they got to go. We just got to make sure they go. Don't worry about them other third party, because this one just got to go. And then we swing hard to the other one. Then after a couple of months, we complaining and crying. Then we say, oh, Lord, this one got to go. This one got to go. We just need, don't worry about anybody else. We just got to make sure this one gone. And we swing back to where we just came from. And we keep getting swing every time. The PLP is not the problem. Hold on, Papa. The PLP is not the problem alone. The FNM was just as corrupt and just as bad in their last administration. I will need a whole show to outline that for you. All right? We went through a lot of turmoil and corruption under the last previous administration. All right? And we can't swing back to that. I am tired of giving no bid contracts to Brent Simonet. All right? It's time. I am tired of them raping and robbing this country. We need to try something different. We need new things, man. Thank you, my brother.
What I'm trying to say to Mr. McKinney, right?
Mhm.
Mr. McKinney, hey,
I'm listening.
your boy Papa, he get no time to play. I should make him be 55 in November.
I know.
You know, Mr. McKinney, God being good to me, you know.
I know.
I can be hungry sometimes. I can take it. I get older now. As long as maturity, like pay the bills, I can do it all. So, you know, but I can't award for no one. That's why they don't like me. As far as they're concerned, they feel like I am grateful. I guess stink, you see.
Mhm.
No, but, you know, it's like, to be a real man, like Lincoln said, you say you stand if you have to do it all
You
the
have to.
time. So I ain't getting no one for no one. And
Right.
ain't nobody can coach me. Listen to me, Mr. McKinney.
Oh, that's
I
good.
always call him when Lincoln on and
Yeah.
support and so Lincoln be encouraged. But when I hear that one today, what he do on Michael Pintard, right? I feel like I said, oh, he get this one for job. I said, my goodness, let me go find someone who can see. What's this person ain't answering? The video with the show when Michael talk to him. I said, oh, shoot, he get this one for job. This a loafers. When the people tell me that's Michael Pintard, then I hear Lincoln on the show today. I wasn't going to touch it with Clinton, but I hear him apologizing, so I trying to find out.
No, I see your point. I see your
Yeah,
point.
so I'm saying I hope I pray God give Lincoln the strength. Well, Lincoln, you might believe, or whosoever might be questioning Papa can any water or coaching, right? I really wouldn't mind making all two of them and moving them, but I kind of just tired of all two of them, just like how Lincoln said, the vehement people, you understand? But it leave up to the vehement people to make that choice, all right? I wish we could make one of them, although they the same, like Lincoln said, I agree, make one of them the third party, and Lincoln them could either be the government or be the opposition, official opposition. Lincoln, I just feel like you had it for jaw. I guess what I think the enemy politically is the damn PL people. All right? Keep up the good work. You don't want to care what I hold it now. God ain't good to me. I guess
They can't fool you no more.
I get everything I would like.
Yes.
A rock in a plane or a train or even a pool in the yard. But God ain't good to me. And if I have to go back to where I been to zero, ain't nothing wrong with that.
All right, Papa.
We ain't getting nothing nowhere.
I got you, Papa. I apologize to you, man. I want to make
I
sure
need to
that.
call you off the air. I need to call you off the air, brother.
Please, you got my number, right? Okay. All the best.
Steve, I want to say this. There are, PLP trolls and FNM trolls who keep asking this one question as if they don't know how the law works. So I like to educate our people.
Mhm.
They keep asking, you pay the lady yet? They're trying to make it seem like I am avoiding paying something.
Mhm.
I was the person who exposed this to the public and let them, because I tell them
Yes,
anything
you
about
did,
me.
you did.
And I told them that this thing could come up in the future. And if it does, if I don't win, I pay.
Mhm.
That's what I said. After a court case, you don't just pay. It's like going to a restaurant. After you finish eating, you don't just throw money on the table and pay. You have to get your bill, right? You have to know exactly what you're paying for, make
Yeah.
sure that that is correct, that is what you ate, etc.
Mhm.
The lawyers have to get theirs, all right? And you go before the registrar, and they work out everything, make sure everything is right, and then you do what you have to do. That's a process. That takes time, all right? I said from the beginning, man, I'm not hiding like Brave and them, their court cases, etc. I said that once I don't win it, I'll pay it. The Privy Council decided not to accept the case. I didn't lose at the Privy Council. They decided that they're not hearing it. They
Yeah, 'cause I
said
bet I knew we'd lose it.
they-
But I knew better than that.
yeah, they said that it should have been dealt with properly at the lower
The
courts.
low cost.
It wasn't, but that's my loss.
Mhm.
They decided not to hear it. They're not having a hearing, and they dismissed it. All right, they're not interested, and so that leaves me with having to deal with it. I won't be the first person to have to deal with that.
Mhm.
Right off the bat, I told my lawyer, I gave her instructions to go and deal with that matter. Deal with it. She only had one request. They made a kind of a deal, but she made one request. She wants to know if the lady is alive, because we haven't seen this lady since the Supreme Court level.
Okay.
From it was in the Supreme Court, the lady never came back to court. All right, now, you can do whatever you want to, but I know if it's me and I really lose money, I could be in court every time, making sure.
Right.
But she never came back to court. She never came to the appeals court. Didn't come to the Privy Council. So we just asked
You
for
gotta
proof.
find her
We just
whereabouts.
asked for proof of life,
Mhm.
and so we asked for a valid driver's license, and that's all we wanted. And so that was not given to us. All right. So we wanted to make sure that this wasn't just a political thing where, they would move in this just to attack me, and that this was the person and their will. And so we said, okay, you ready to pay? Show us that this person is alive. Give us a valid driver's license. That's it. I didn't think that's unreasonable. But when that happened, the deal that they had for the amount, it seems to have gone off the table. And so you're gonna go before the registrar, I guess, when they decide to go before the registrar, because it's on them. All right. When a court case is finished, the other person has to decide to enforce it. They could have a judgment and never enforce it. But they have to decide now that they want to go before the registrar, and then it'll be dealt with.
But I think one of the things that you need to clarify for people, it's not a matter of you having the money to pay.
No.
Okay?
No.
Because people thinking that you just ain't paid because you can't.
Listen. I sure they could see that the COI is operating on the level that it should.
Yes.
I'm one of the biggest donors in the COI. All right. There are other people, but we doing our thing. All right. I made my declaration that I owe nobody. Now I owe someone. All right. I made my life. How many payments can say that? I made my life up to this age in my 40s that I don't owe anybody. All right. I declared that sworn. I don't owe nobody. And so if they found that was not correct, I owed someone, they have me, right? And so that's how I operated in my life. I'm good. All right. And so I'm going to do what I have to do. It's simple as that. And so what it is that they don't have nothing on me where I did anything wrong. This matter is not saying that I stole anything or did anything. They're saying we invested. We made an investment. The investment burned down. The person says that they want me to pay them back personally. All right. They came up with these other stories, but I'm trying to focus on that. The fact of the matter is, if I lose, then so be it. I lost, so be it. All right. And so we'll do what we have to do.
Understood.
Right. I've had other businesses that closed down before, and I get left holding the bill, give someone the money to pay all the bills, and they don't do it, and I end up having to go back and pay again. So this kind of stuff happened, but I'll honor what I have to honor. But are you asking your politician to give account? Are you asking your
That's a big
politician
question.
what
That is a
happened
big
with our
question.
money? Did you ask the F&M what they did with our Dorian donations and our money? And the IMF was asking them to give account for the $250 million that they gave to them, and the IDB, the $400 million that they gave to them. Are you asking Pintard to give, as the F&M now there, to give account for all of the money that disappeared under the F&M? Are you asking them to give account of the food money that was given out? $58 million, paying $6 million to an F&M financier to give out food? Are you asking them to give account? I have no problem with you asking me, but are you asking them what's going on with our funds? And I said today what I said today. We now started looking at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs because Fred Mitchell decided to start attacking us. We weren't paying attention to them. But we see some things that are disturbing. We've provided documentation. Notice the news ain't covering it. The trolls ain't paying attention to it. But we need to know where the money from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is going. If it's going towards paying for someone's habits and preferences, this is what we should be concerned with. You can't pay the civil servants, but you got all this stuff going on.
Yeah.
Millions of dollars being wasted. This is the conversation that we should be having. Listen, you don't want to vote for me, don't vote for me, Let them continue to rape and rob this country. But I can tell you one thing. If the COI don't win this election, this country is done. We could be overrun with illegals. We could be overrun with legal foreigners. And there would be no country for this Bahamas. The choice is yours.
We cannot have that. I appreciate your conversation with me today. It's 7:28. It's been fun. And I thank you very much, sir. And I wish you the Godspeed, all the best. And of course, I wish the same to you, Mrs. Griffin, because I know that you are very, very concerned about what you talked about today. And it's been a very, very interesting day. And at this time, it's 7:28. I even went overtime, hoping that Michael Pintard would just call me, just to say he called me and did so, but as you can see, I supposed to finish the show at 7 o'clock. Finish it now at 7:30, 7:29, and there's been no call from Mr. Pintard. And that's how it is. That's the way it is.
He promised to call you?
No.
Oh.
He promised. I was hoping that he was called.
Oh, no, he's not going to call you.
Yeah.
They don't give account. I make myself open to anyone, even my critics.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Appreciate both of you being here. And so we say goodbye for now. And tomorrow we'll be back to the show at 5 o'clock. Don't forget, now, once it's 5 o'clock, you know what time it is, right? It means it's time for hot coffee. We'll see you then.